Hey everybody, it's episode 373 of PodQuest.
Hey!
It's Wednesday, October 6th, 2021. I am Chris. With me is Droo
Hello.
and Walnut.
Hi, I'm here.
How you guys doing?
Oh, I'm better than the last couple days.
That's good. That's good. I'm not too bad.
You finally feeling, like, physically better?
Yeah, my knees don't hurt nearly as much today.
How about your chest from when you got kicked?
Oh, that's been fine.
Oh, that's
You got
good.
kicked?
Yeah.
Was this something that was discussed and I was in my own head on Sunday?
No, have you never been to a
was this something
concert before? You just get kicked at concerts. That's how concerts go.
I've never been kicked at a concert before.
Then you're not having fun at concerts.
You're not concerting, right?
but I mean, you went to 75 concerts last week.
Only 2.
Was this at a concert that I was privy to? Was my knowledge that I knew of? Like, was it prior to Sunday or was it on Sunday?
No, it was on Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah, during Newfound Glory, somebody unintentionally kicked him in the chest.
Yeah.
Then I don't feel bad about making you play DnD with a chest injury of being kicked in the chest.
Oh, no, trust me. I was like, that one barely hurt after the fact. Like, honestly, it wasn't until Cobb mentioning it right now that I even remembered that happened.
That's one of those things that can, like, set in, though. Like you don't necessarily, it doesn't hurt when it happens, but then, like, the next day, if it was hard enough and it bruises, it might just hurt to, like, move.
Yeah, no.
The next day, you're just like, what is this shoe-sized bruise on my chest?
Exactly.
Why is there a boot print across my chest?
Yeah, if you've ever been to a concert, that's what concerts are all about. Getting kicked and elbowed, and having grown adults fall on top of you.
Many grown adults fall on top.
I've never been kicked or punched, but I've had grown adults fall on my ankles pre-ankle surgery. Or was it post-ankle surgery? I can't remember, but it was still grown adults falling on my ankles, like the entire crowd. I've never been kicked or punched.
You're like Drew said, you're not concerting right.
No, I think I'm concerting right.
Yeah, I mean, the whole reason I even got kicked in the chest was this same dude in the mosh pit, like, during a breakdown was going far too crazy with the, like, hardcore two-step and punched a dude in the face. Mm-hmm. And, like, I would, like, tried to dart across the pit to, like, help that guy stay up, because, like, literally, he got punched right in the fucking eye by this dude. And then the guy comes back across and just throws a kick, and it just happened to hit me, like, right below the sternum. During
Newfound Glory.
Yeah. They have, like, breakdowns in some of their songs.
But you're pitting that hard with Newfound Glory. Like, don't get me wrong. I love Newfound Glory. But you're pitting that hard with Newfound Glory that dude's getting punched in the eyes and shit?
Dude, you should have seen the crowd go crazy during one of the Less Than Jake songs.
That's even more bonkers to me, Less Than Jake song. But
yeah, but like, Newfound Glory has, like, some breakdowns and some heavier parts of their songs, and there are also people that go to these shows that are just, they get too aggressive in pits. Sometimes they're usually drunk, which doesn't help. And yeah, they're just, there's always one person that's in there just, like, throwing too many arms and too many legs.
That's generally why I don't go to the pits. I've never been in a pit. Like, I've been in, like, the standing room section and whatnot, but I've been on the outside of a pit, never been in a pit, never want to be in a pit, because I'm there to enjoy the concert. I'm not there to get beat down on and shit like that.
Well, I mean, like, you're not supposed to get into fights in the pit. Like, it's supposed to just be a fun gathering of people letting out their love for the music, physically.
Mm-hmm.
I'll sing the songs. That's how I do it.
But, I mean, like, you're going to get people landing on top of you and hitting you and pushing you, even if you're not in the pit, if you're just in the crowd. You just got to be in the right part of the crowd.
I always find the right part of the crowd where I'm not being jostled around too much. And I'm always the big guy that people stay away from because I won't be jostled around.
Yeah, you're just not having fun at concerts.
No, I'm having a blast because I'm not worrying about if any of my shit's breaking.
I've never actually been worried if anything's breaking.
I did almost lose my phone.
A lot of people lost phones.
There you go.
But, like, my phone's in my pocket. Like, I know where it's at. But, I mean, I saw at least, like, 3 people find phones on the floor and, like, pass them up to security.
Mm-hmm.
And that's... I saw one guy trying desperately to find a hat that somebody knocked off while crowd surfing. It's like, man, don't wear a hat at a concert like this. Like, that's a bad idea.
At least not one that you care about.
Yeah,
or,
exactly.
I mean, it's not don't wear a hat. It's don't crowd surf when you're wearing a hat.
No, he was not crowd surfing. Somebody crowd surfed over him, and his hat got knocked off during it.
Oh, I mean, even then, like, I don't know how you lose a hat when somebody goes over you, because I've been crowd surfed over at Firefly, and my hats never came off.
You're not always the tallest person, though. Like, I'm pretty sure I know the guy that it happened to, and he was, like, a guy my height or taller. Like,
yeah, he was definitely a little taller than you, probably, because he was definitely taller than me, and, like, enough that, like, it was noticeable. And, like, I mean, I saw somebody accidentally, like, get, like, choked for a second while someone was crowd surfing, because they just... The way the person came, their arm hooked around the person's neck, and because they're getting pushed one way and the other person's trying to go the other way, like, you know, things happen.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's fun, though. It's a good time.
Concerts, man. How was it being... I know we're kind of just jumping right into it, but I mean, we're already in the conversation. We've already introed the show, correct?
Yeah, I mean, more or less.
Yeah. But how was it being in concerts, and how was it being masked at concerts? That's my thing that I'm not really looking forward to, is being masked.
It honestly wasn't that bad. I had like a 2-ply fabric mask on for most of it. And like I was in the front of the crowd for the entire show. Between Less Than Jake and Newfound Glory, I did switch to like a paper, like one of like the blue like surgical masks.
Mm-hmm.
Not because it was hard to breathe, like, I was getting air, but because the fabric was, like, that weird 2-ply, when I was, like, breathing in, like, heavily, I was, like, getting the mask sucked into my mouth with it, and that was just annoying.
Yeah.
Where the paper one, that doesn't really happen with. But, yeah, I didn't really have any trouble with the mask on.
Yeah, same.
I mean, like honestly, I almost preferred it, because, like I said this while we were walking away, like, walking back to the train, I knew the sweat in my mouth was my own.
Yeah, that's true.
Because, I mean, that was definitely one of the weird things. And, like, Drew, you had already been to a couple of concerts at this point, like, where there were, like, standing room, I should say. But, like, being that close to human beings again was just, like, it was weird. It wasn't, like, bad, it was just weird.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess it definitely is a little weird, but at the same time, it's, like, it felt pretty good.
Oh yeah, no, like I missed like going to stuff like that. Like it was a good time. It was just one of those. It's like right. Everybody here has had to get a vaccine at this point. Like nobody in this building is not vaccinated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and like they're not super hardcore like watching you if you take your mask off or whatever, and with the fact that everyone there has to be vaccinated, like they have to show proof of vaccine, it's not the weirdest thing to like have the mask off for a little bit extra after like taking a drink or whatever. But
yeah, I mean, by the time Newfound Glory was on, because like they were the headliner, most of like the crowd seemed to not have them on anymore.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, like I kept mine on mostly because like it was just nice to know that like nothing that wasn't mine was going to be in my mouth. Like I wasn't going to get somebody's like fucking sweaty hair or anything like that, like hitting me like in the mouth area.
Yeah,
true. Like that stuff happens. You get hit, you get smacked in the face, like hair, sweat, elbows, arms, like shit's just flying.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't realize until like the end of the concert that like the tour almost got canceled because the other bands dropped out.
Yeah, I didn't even.
Yeah, I went back and checked. So it was originally supposed to be Simple Plan and Newfound Glory.
Yeah, I'm glad it was Less Than Jake.
Yeah, like I don't know that I would have gone if it was Simple Plan and Newfound Glory. Like I may have because I do like Newfound Glory, but like Less Than Jake was definitely like the catalyst. That's like okay, I actually really want to go to this concert. Like I have wanted to see Less Than Jake for like 2 decades, and it's just never worked out. And now I have, and
yeah, they were really good.
One off. And you're going to another one in a month or something, aren't you?
I'm not 100%, but I probably am. It's Bad Religion and Alkaline Trio.
Right. Yeah, I saw that one. There's also a NoFX and Anti-Flag concert coming up.
Nice.
Which NoFX always puts on a really good show. So does Anti-Flag, actually. They're fun live.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just say concerts are just good.
They are. Yeah, the only thing that has me iffy on the Bad Religion Alkaline Trio show is it's 4 days after I get back from Nashville, and numbers are getting better, but Tennessee was pretty bad with COVID for a while there.
Yeah, I mean, anything below the Mason-Dixon line, you're kind of just taking a shot.
I think I was reading a thing. They've gone from the second worst to like 18.
Okay, hey, look, they're getting better.
Improvement.
Yeah,
but
they're tracking.
still.
They're tracking positive.
Yeah,
in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I can understand that, and especially because that's one of those. It's like, all right, well, do you wait until the day of basically, and like get a test like 2 days, like do another rapid test like 2 days after you get home, and then like buy tickets last minute just to make sure that like you're good.
Yeah, that was my thought. Like, I have a friend that was going to go with me, but I might see if they have another friend that could go. And my thought is, I get back from Nashville on the 3rd or on the 4th, like middle of the day, and that show's the 7th. So I get back on a Thursday, show's on a Sunday. Figure if I go take a rapid test on that Saturday, I'd be like, okay, yeah, I'm 100% fine to go. Or, for whatever reason, it comes back positive, and I go, you and your friend take the 2 tickets, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like, I mean, that's probably not the worst way to do it.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, this way, like, that you're not, even though everyone should be vaccinated, that you're not, like, passing it around where they could then pass it to somebody else.
Yeah, exactly. Like, while I'm not the most concerned about getting sick, even in Nashville, like, cities are actually kind of better about vaccinations than, like, the rural counties in Tennessee, so...
And that's where a lot of, like, the reports are coming out of, too. Like, when you see, like, a state is doing bad, it's usually those rural areas that is causing the real messes.
Yeah, where nobody's vaccinated, and then all 20 people in the county get sick at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's... But yeah, I mean, I've never actually gotten to see Alkaline Trio, but I hear they actually put on a really good show.
Yeah, they're a band I would definitely want to see, so...
Yeah.
Did you... Favorite band from that show on Sunday there, Cobb?
Oh, I mean, Less Than Jake.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, they were really good. I really liked Hot Mulligan, personally. Like, I know Erica, like, super did not give a shit about them.
Yeah, she did not like them at all.
No.
I was kind of indifferent. Like, I want to go back and actually listen to, like, their recordings to see if they sound a little different, because I don't think the guy sounded very good live. But some of that was also, like, the audio wasn't mixed great. Like, it was very hard to hear vocals over everything else. It honestly wasn't until Newfound Glory and Less Than Jake that they seemed to get the shit mixed properly, or at least better. But like the way that they sounded live reminded me of the only time I ever saw Senses Fail live, where like the screaming just didn't sound good live, and it kind of made them not sound all that good.
Yeah, I'd say so. I've listened to almost all of their stuff now.
Nice.
The audio, the vocals on their recorded stuff is a lot cleaner sounding.
Okay. Yeah, because like I like screaming. It's just like the screaming he was doing just sounded bad, and it's hard to tell if it's just because like the mix was bad, or if like he's been on tour for 2 months now. Like your voice takes a fucking beating doing that.
Little of both, probably.
Yeah, exactly.
They're back in Philly in December, but it's already sold out.
Like, yeah, because I think Newfound Glory said that when they were like talking about how the show almost got canceled, or the concert almost got canceled. Yeah. That like they're going to be back on the road like for their own tour.
Yeah, like the show was actually supposed to be at the Fillmore, but it was selling so well it got moved to the TLA.
Oh wow.
I mean, not the TLA is like 1,000 people. But I guess that means the Fillmore is less than 1,000.
Yeah, which I haven't been to the Fillmore, but I thought it was bigger than the TLA, because like the TLA isn't big.
Maybe it was supposed to be like, I know the Fillmore has like the Foundry part as well.
Oh, right.
So maybe it was supposed to be in the Foundry, which is definitely the smaller thing there. Which that would maybe make sense.
Yeah,
but
yeah, I forgot about that. And then the girl that opened was actually good too. Lolo.
Yeah, she was pretty good. I like that Newfound Glory played Vicious Love and had her.
Yeah, that was nice. Rich, what was the last concert you went to?
Probably, it was Coheed and what's it? Shit.
Coheed and Mastodon and Every Time I Die?
Yes.
Oh yeah. We were both there. You were with like Sean and some of your other friends, right?
Yeah. So that's probably the last one I had been to. Just because the next concert I was supposed to have gone to after that was Coheed as well, but that got canceled, and just haven't, obviously for obvious reasons, haven't been able to go to concerts.
Yeah, and you figure that was June of 2019, so it's been just over 2 years.
Yeah, I need my concert fill, but I don't know if I'm going to feel comfortable enough going to a concert, even with the vaccine mandates, just yet. Like an outdoor concert, I'd be more okay with, but not really an indoor concert, especially somewhere like the TLA or the Electric Factory or something. I would not be all that comfortable.
You know, though, like, even at, like, the Electric Factory, like, you don't have to stand in the crowd. Like, you can stand, like, you can go upstairs into, like, the balcony where they have seating. You can, like, stand to, like, the back or to, like, the sides where it doesn't really get, like, as congested and just enjoy the music.
If I was supposed to go to, what is that band? It was, I think actually...
It was the Bayside one, right?
Bayside, yeah. I was supposed to go to Bayside when they came around to the Electric Factory, but I had completely forgotten, and then, like, that week I started to feel sick. So, like, it was like, I think it was like that Wednesday I started to feel sick with a scratchy throat and not feeling good, that by Friday, I hadn't bought my tickets, and by Friday I was just like, this probably isn't COVID, but I just want to be safe. I wouldn't have gone to the concert, even if I hadn't already made plans to record Bros.
That show was pretty dope.
Yeah.
You know, I've never actually listened to Bayside, but I hear they're not bad.
Yeah. Like, legit, I think I had known, like, 2 Bayside songs going into that show. Maybe only one, really.
Yeah, I feel like they're one of those bands where, like, I've heard them, and, like, I'd probably recognize 1 or 2 of their songs. I just don't know the names of them. Or, like, I couldn't identify one for you if you played it for me.
Yeah.
But, like, I could probably be like, oh, yeah, no, I've heard that before.
But like, Hawthorne Heights was really good as well, and so was Senses Fail.
Well, that's good that Senses Fail was good, because, like I said, like, the one time I heard them live, they weren't, but, like, it was also a Warped Tour in 107-degree heat, so...
Oh, yeah. Warped Tour audio mix is just no. Like,
I mean, like, some bands sound good, and, like, they were a main stage band, if I remember correctly, which is its own bag of issues, because usually, like, the crowd at the main stage are so big that it is actually kind of hard just to hear.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, you know, it happens. Anyway, we skipped the agenda, Rich. What's on the agenda tonight?
The agenda, besides talking about concerts, obviously, is, Cobb, you want to have a quick talk about some Halo stuff, but you also watched the Netflix show. I believe it's a show, not a documentary or anything, called Midnight Mass.
Yep.
Then we finally got to find out who the final Smash character is. Can I say final any more times? Or find, or anything else with an F? We'll see. Then more Switch news that coincides with the final Smash character. I beat Super Metroid, the first official Metroid game, I guess you could say, that I've ever beaten, even though I beat other M. Cobb, you started playing some Scarlet Nexus, and there was some PlayStation news as well.
Yeah, those things are all true.
So before we move on to the Halo thing,
I
just want to shout out one other band that I had seen on Saturday, Polyphia. They're fucking super awesome. They're like a metal jam band. Like, I can't really explain how they sound other than just fucking wild. Like, their lead guitarist is amazing. He's fucking insanely good. But like it'll be like this super like metally bassy riff, but then he's playing this really fast bluesy guitar over top of it, and it's crazy. It's really good. It's like all instrumental. Like, a couple songs have like a few lyrics, but it's basically just all instrumental. But go look them up. They're fucking insane.
And it's Polyphia, right?
Yeah, Polyphia.
Okay. Yeah, I meant to actually look them up because you were talking about them on Sunday, and I think I had, like, Googled them, but then, like, closed the tab and forgotten about it.
Yeah, they were eye-opening when I saw them. It was like, holy shit. Look at this dude fucking shred.
Yeah. Music is fun, guys.
It sure is.
It is. It is. Speaking of Sunday, real quick, just a reminder for everyone listening, we actually got to record our first bonus action episode. So keep an eye out for that in the upcoming weeks.
Yeah, if not next week, the week after, I want to see what we end up scheduling for the next recording so that I can sort of plan it out, make sure that we kind of have like a 1-episode buffer around the recording so that if for some reason it gets, delayed again like it did this time, we're good. But when that goes up, if you subscribe to our Patreon, and I forget the tier, but it's listed on the tier, you can actually just get the whole session all as one MP3 instead of it split up every other week. So, yeah, Patreon. It helps us do things.
Yes.
Like get a better microphone for Richie, because boy, this is not your fault, Rich, at all. You sound atrocious.
I did my best.
Yeah.
I didn't realize we didn't have enough mics.
So I forgot how different those other microphones sound compared to the ones we've been using for the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
So in my head, I'm just like, oh, it's fine. Like, these things worked for, 3 years. Like, it'll be fine. It's just that they're a little different. Richie's used them before, though. He's usually pretty good about, talking into the microphone and everything. And yeah, they are drastically different quality. Like, I don't know if you noticed the board at all, which I don't think you could have, just from where it was. Your slider was all the way up the whole time. Mm-hmm. And there are little lights that light up on the mixer that show how loud basically someone is. Mm-hmm. And generally, if Droo was talking into one of the good mics, he'd be at the high end of the green, almost yellow. Maybe if he got loud, it would go into yellow, or maybe even a low red. You were barely lighting up the bottom 2 green lights.
Yeah.
And you were talking normal. You were doing nothing wrong. The microphone was just that bad.
Yeah, so we'll have to get a new mic for our next session.
Yeah, I might try to grab one, or I know Tim said that he was looking to buy a microphone for himself that he might buy and just bring with him. In which case, that would probably also be fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, it's the first one. Things will be rocky. I feel like once you kind of get more into the groove of things, you'll get better with flow. Because when we did the one shot a couple years ago, I feel like because you'd been playing more frequently at that point, you were a little more on your game, so to speak. Mm-hmm. Whereas this time you were a little more uncertain.
Well, it's also, there's a difference between the one shot and this. The one shot is a set railroaded adventure where you have an endpoint. This does not have an endpoint, so there is going to be that level of uncertainty from me because I don't know where the players want to go or do. So
that's fair.
I'm not saying I wasn't prepared for this session, but I was better prepared for the one shot because I knew what was going to happen. Whereas I don't know. They could have just turned around and said, fuck doing work for this encampment, and just gone off. So, that is then well, fuck, what do I do now?
Yeah.
Which is why, as a DM, I need all those books.
Yeah. Which, honestly, it seemed like it worked out well that out of the three quote-unquote sessions on Sunday, one of them had combat, the other 2 were more just, adventuring and, learning things.
Yeah, and that's that. My goal isn't to necessarily have combat every episode, but to try to get some form of even minor combat, maybe at least every other session, if not every session. But I don't want to bog down a session with combat because combat can take a long time.
Yeah, especially if it's a big one.
But also, combat will bog down more if you space it out too much and don't let us learn the combat of the characters.
Yeah.
The early combats especially will be a little more bogged down while we still don't 100% know what our characters can all do.
Yeah.
But, as we get more used to them, the combats will flow better as we have a better idea of what we're doing.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm not going to do combat every session, but, there is a chance that there will be sessions without combat just because that's how the game goes. You guys can turn around and talk your way out of everything if you want. You have some charismatic characters. Or you can turn around and kill everything if you want. You have some charismatic characters.
I am going to try to talk us at least any times we run into humanoid characters with a combat scenario potential. Like, I'm going to try to not have there be combat. They might disagree, and then they will die. But
yeah, that's that. Yeah, it's gonna be. It might be a few sessions before I get back into a rhythm of being like in person and being all back in character. But it's gonna be good though. It's gonna be good. I have a lot of ideas up in my brain that I gotta just like jot down on paper. And once these episodes release, I hope you guys enjoy it. I do plan on doing a quick overview of the world right up on the website, as well as recaps before every episode releases, also up on the website.
Yeah, that's why I had actually asked you to send me over some of the stuff you had. So I was going to make like a little hub page with that stuff.
Yeah, I was going to respond to that, and then Facebook was down for 6 hours.
Oh, right, that was that day, wasn't it?
Yeah. So I didn't respond to it.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And it's not like there's no rush on it, but like I had the same idea, like taking some of like the world building stuff and like what you know of like what you've kind of plotted out already that like has already happened, and just sort of making like a hub page, like here are our characters, here's our world, like, and then just like doing, like you said, like taking like a little recap after each session has been fully posted and just adding it to it.
And I want to ask Jordan a quick question, then we can get back onto the normal show. Did you catch any of like the Easter eggs that I might have thrown basically towards you and Sean? Like the listeners or anyone not going to realize any of these Easter eggs, but did you catch any of them?
I think I caught most of them. There's some things I might have not 100% heard right because I was trying to write and listen at the same time.
Yeah.
But there were definitely things I was like, oh, okay, yep.
Yeah.
But
okay. Did you recognize who that Arcanist is of the area?
No.
You met him in the tower that was underwater.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's really one of the bigger Easter eggs. It's like, I wonder if either of these two are going to remember this guy they randomly met that's going to play a big role in this campaign, but it's kind of like a minor but secondary role in the other campaign.
Yeah, no, honestly, like, if I looked through my notes from the other campaign, I probably have that name written down, but, like, names, not my strong suit.
Yeah.
So is this supposed to be, like, the same world you had for one of your others?
Yeah, it is the same world that the game me and Sean play with Richie as the DM are in. It's just a separate continent from the two that we've been on with those characters.
Okay.
And it's also about 50 years prior to their campaign. So if they were to go to Edax in their campaign, anything that they end up doing anything they end up doing in this show will be part of the campaign they're in. So if they end up getting a statue made of them, they will find a statue made of them or something. And I plan on them pretty much helping plot out what the map not what the map looks like, but like settlement outposts and cities throughout the continent with this campaign, because it's mostly uninhabited. So they're basically helping me build this world, essentially, with this campaign for my other campaign.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's so at least like you kind of have a thing that you've already, I guess, developed is the right word.
Yeah. I have like not an end goal storyline, but like I have an overall storyline and ideas that are going to play into it. Like it's mostly going to be them doing jobs, and the listeners will hear this over the next couple of weeks once the new episode comes out. This is a little bit of a teaser, but the show is mostly going to be them doing different jobs for this encampment that they're living in. But there's going to be an overarching thing that like might not necessarily connect with every session or even every episode, but there will be breadcrumbs sprinkled throughout.
Okay.
Yeah. But
nice.
with that, let's talk some quick Halo.
Yeah, so this past weekend was another of the test flights that they're doing, where I talked about briefly last week. They had multiplayer available. You could play if you were enrolled into it. You could play a PC or Xbox. They had last weekend it was just the 4v4 or like a bot match basically.
Yeah.
This week they had the 4v4 stuff still, but then they had the big team battle also, which is the 12 versus 12.
Mm-hmm.
So in the big team battle they had capture the flag, Team Slayer, well like big Team Slayer I should say, and what is the name of it? It's the game where you have to capture the points, and so you basically have to go stand on a spot until like a thing fills, and then when that thing fills, your team owns it, and if the other team comes into it, they will start to capture it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to capture all 3 points at the same time, and then that's 1 point for your team, and the first team to collect 3 of them, or whoever has the most after the time limit wins the round.
Yeah.
I can never remember the name of that game, but
it's probably like I don't like zone defender or something dumb or squat. Like I don't know. That's a like kind of a generic first person gameplay mode. Exactly. Like it's nothing like super fancy, but all of them worked really well. And it never felt they had a good map. I think it was only one map if I remember correctly. Yeah, it was only one map for this, but it was a good size map. You never really felt like you couldn't find somebody to engage with. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it was fun. Like they are doing a good job with at least the multiplayer portion of Halo. It looks good, it plays good. I was having a lot of trouble, especially early on, just with controls. I forget if I mentioned it last week or not, but I was having trouble where I've been reconditioned when it comes to like shooters to like aim down sights. Like it's just nowadays like you hit the left trigger to like hold the gun up to get like a better idea of where you're aiming. And Halo just doesn't really do that. The default controller mapping, it's like you hold L2 or the left trigger and you'll zoom in, but like it's bad. Like it doesn't feel good. You get knocked out of it really easily whenever there is anyone attacks you. So you end up just zooming in and out a whole bunch because the game doesn't know how to handle it if you're still holding down the left trigger. So it's like you'll be zoomed in to shoot somebody, they will hit you, and then all of a sudden you'll zoom out, then zoom back in. And it's just... I could have swore Halo never actually had shoulder fire. It was always hip fire. No, so it was always hip fire. So this is like... I don't know if it's new to this game or if it's new in the last 3, but up until... I've only ever played up till Halo 3, so I never played 4 and 5. Halo 1, 2, and 3 only had, like, shoot from the hip. There was no aim down sights. I think all the Halos had this zoom feature, though. Like, it wasn't... Like, what you're doing is, like, zooming. You're not bringing up to your shoulder. You're literally zooming. Exactly, yeah, no. Like, yeah, exactly. But they have it mapped the way every other game does look down sights. So it's like it's like a muscle memory now. And the problem is with Halo, the way I always played Halo was I am not good at shooting. Like, I know that. I'm not good at like tracking people from far away. I can do okay with a sniper rifle if like I'm hidden and I can like just like hit people with like a single headshot. But when it comes to like an assault rifle or any of the guns that are like good at like mid to long range, I'm just not good at following people along with like the gun moving as you're shooting it. So I was always a run at people, shoot them, and then melee them. And they don't have a boxer layout anymore, which was shoot on right, melee on left. So you have to manually do it. And there's just enough in the controls that like I'm having trouble finding a control layout that actually feels good to do that stuff. And it's just this weird mixture of I play Halo very weird, and I'm so used to looking down sights in every other shooter. So like no matter. Maybe you need to get good and not play stupid controls. Maybe you just need to learn how to use better controls. I use the base controls, which are objectively the worst controls. I mean, they're not inverted, so they're already the best controls. Man, I used to play inverted. I can't do it anymore. Fuck inverted, dude. I think I've told it on here before. Like when we used to all go to GameStop, I used to play inverted boxer. And every once in a while, I would switch it to Southpaw just to like fuck with whoever came up behind me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you were the troll of the group, and you would play. You wouldn't play it to actually win. You would play it just to troll whoever's up next. Oh no! So I was not like tournament good,
but like I was pretty good at Halo 1 through 3, even online. Like I could play those games and not suck. 15 years later, that's not the case anymore. Though after like 2 or 3 rounds this past weekend, like I was never the worst on the team. A couple times I was like ranked in like the top like 1 or 2 on the team of 12 people. But I was usually like middle of the pack. Like I wasn't necessarily going for like flag captures, but I was doing a lot of flag returns. I was killing a lot of people. So, you know, like I am mediocre at best at online shooters, and I'm okay with that. That is a place I don't mind being. But no, for whatever reason, in like the early 2000s, inverted made sense to me, and now I can't do it. Like I've had inverted controls and all this. Like Mario Sunshine is inverted, and I can't do it. I can't do inverted controls anymore. Like my brain, and it's weird because when I think about it, like right now, I'm thinking about inverted controls, and it logically makes sense in my head. Because if you're playing a first-person thing, if you're looking down, you're pushing up on the stick. Like that makes sense in my head. But motor skill-wise, like I just can't do it anymore.
I don't remember Sunshine being inverted. The only games that are supposed to be inverted are flight games.
Flood is inverted on Sunshine.
Yeah, I don't remember it being like I played it when the All-Stars came out. And I don't remember it being inverted.
That was my problem with it, was I couldn't not, like, I was having so much trouble aiming Flood because it was inverted, but your movement isn't. So, like, when you're moving around, it's normal, and then as soon as you, like, stop and start shooting Flood, it's inverted again, and it's just, it fucking wrecked me.
Yeah.
But if the single-player portion of Halo plays as well as the multiplayer is, it's going to be a very good Halo game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just everything about it feels like Halo in a way that I've heard other people talk about 4 and 5 not feeling like Halo.
Okay.
I like I said before, I've never played those two, so I don't really know like why people say that.
4 was great. I loved.
I feel like
I've never got to 5.
I feel like 4 is the one that it's like people are just kind of fine with it. Like, some people like it, some people don't like it, but nobody, like, outright just despises it. I think 5 is the one that everyone fucking hates. And because if I remember correctly, 5 is the one where, like, you don't really play as Master Chief for a good portion of it. And they just did a bunch of, like, weird shit that nobody liked. And it was like, it was 343 trying to make their own game, really. Like, they were trying to make Halo theirs. And that's just not what people want out of Halo. They want more of what Bungie did in the first 3.
Yeah, they want more Halo. They don't want more anything else.
Yeah, exactly. And because I think at one point, like 343 is like, well, we don't want Halo to be about Master Chief. I'm like, well, then you want to fucking make a different franchise because Halo's about Master Chief. Like,
it shouldn't be though. Like, and Halo Reach proved that it doesn't have to.
But Halo Reach was such a well done game by a company that makes really good shooters. And I feel like if you tack on a subtitle like that, it's fine. Like, because what was the other one? ODST was also not about the Spartans, right? Or at least right. Master Chief. And I think that one was generally well received also. Mm-hmm. But like, when it's a numbered Halo game, people want it to be about Master Chief. Like, they want that continuation of, like, that character arc. And I get it.
See, I think it would be okay to let him move on and do like 4 Halo games about.
And you know, if they did like Yakuza'd it, where Yakuza 1 through 6 is about Kiryu, and then 7 is Ichiban, that's different. Like you're telling a totally different story that's in the same world but disconnected in a lot of ways from what came before. And they wrapped up the previous story. They didn't wrap up the story. Like, Halo 5 was a continuation of the story where you just didn't follow the protagonist from the last 4 games.
See, and that's the thing. I'd have to play Halo 5 to, like, be able to, like, fully know everything that went on in that one. But Halo 4 flat out wrapped up the fucking story.
Doesn't it end with Cortana? I mean, spoilers for Halo 4, but, like, Cortana, like, dies at the end of 4, right?
Yeah, Cortana, because in that world, AIs have, like, a lifespan of about 3 to 4 years. And after, by the end of their lifespan, it's not that, like, they die. They actually glitch, and they start to, like, break down and essentially go crazy. And so that's what happened with Cortana, is she started to, like, glitch throughout the game. And, they used Cortana to stop I can't remember the name of the enemy.
The Covenant or the Flood?
Not the Covenant. Not neither of those. The new enemies that they introduced in Halo.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know then.
But I can't. I feel like
The
it was
Zek?
called the. Huh?
Was it the Zek?
No, I feel
I
like
think
it
that
was
was from Destiny.
I feel like it was like just something dumb, like the Precursors or something like that.
That was Mass Effect. It's not really important, but yeah. So I thought she died at the end of 4, and then she's back in 5 as a rogue AI trying to take over the world or some shit.
But like that wasn't needed, is what I'm saying. Like she dies, and they stop these enemies, and Master Chief goes back to Earth and gets his new suit, and he's done, and that's it. Prometheans was their name. Like there was no, as far as I can remember, there was no hinting that Cortana was going to come destroy the Earth at the end of Halo 4. Cortana,
And there probably wasn't.
Like, yeah, no, there wasn't. So it's like they could have done Halo 4 with a new protagonist and a new story. They could have, or Halo 5, they could have ended Halo 1 through 4, the initial releases, or the first 4 games, and the Master Chief Collection with Halo 1 through 4, and done the Mistress Chief. I don't know, I was just trying to think of a stupid name, but like, done something else with a new protagonist starting Halo 5 in a new setting and storyline a few years later or X years later, and not be them going after Master Chief. They could have just kept him on the sideline.
They could have done a Metal Gear Solid 2.
Even then, they could have, where you play most of the game as Raiden and
Master Chief is there, you just don't realize it's Master Chief.
Yeah. Or they could have just done a Metal Gear Rising where Snake is nowhere to be found.
Nobody liked Metal Gear Rising. Everyone
loved Rising, dude. I have not heard people complain about Rising.
Honestly, I don't know that I've ever heard anyone talk about it in any sense. But it is not as revered as the other one, so I just assume nobody liked it. Because think about it, like when you talk about Metal Gear, nobody mentions Rising. Let's see what the Metacritic. Because I'm curious, because you might be right.
80% on Metacritic.
Is that user score?
That's just Googling Metal Gear Rising. User score 8.0.
Nice.
People really liked Metal Gear Rising. It was a fantastic game with great music. And it's just, I think they were going to continue it on, but Kojima and whoever it was had their falling out.
You know, though, it is the lowest rated Metal Gear, though, on Metacritic.
That's just because, but still, it's an 80. Like, that can screw off. Like, it's still an 8. Like,
I don't know, but, like, even Peace Walker is rated higher than it.
It's also a different game.
I know, I'm kidding.
I know.
But, like, honestly, like, Metal Gear games, like, I knew people liked them. I didn't realize they were rated as highly as they are, like, on Metacritic. Like, the Phantom Pain has a 95 on Xbox for some reason. But, like, the PS4 version is a 93.
Metal Gear games are fantastic.
Metal Gear Solid 2 is a 96. But yeah, anyway, the Halo Infinite multiplayer is cool. Like, if you, and that's the part that's gonna be free to play. So when it comes out in December, you can just get the multiplayer and play that if you just want to play Halo stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, one other thing to say about that, if you do want to just play the multiplayer, you can still get in there and customize your Spartans. It doesn't change the color based on your team. You actually get like a little bit of like an outer glow that is the enemy color to differentiate. Like, so your teammates have like a little bit of like a blue glow around them, and the enemies have a little bit of a red. So it's very easy to tell who's on what team, even if everyone on your team has a different color armor.
Yeah, that's not too.
Yeah, I like it that way. It was good. What was the other thing I was going to talk about? Oh, right. Midnight Mass. It's the Netflix thing from 2 or 3 weeks ago, I want to say it came out.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I have no idea what it is.
All right.
I'm assuming it's something spooky.
It is, and actually, so you liked The Haunting of Hill House, but you did not like Bly Manor, correct?
Correct. And I thought Bly Manor was good, it just wasn't my cup of tea, and I would probably never...
Yeah, you hated it, you thought it was garbage, I understand. So... Midnight Mass is the next show from Mike Flanagan, who did the two hauntings. Plus, he's done he did the Doctor Sleep movie, if I remember correctly, a bunch of other horror movies and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
This is not, as far as I know, this is not in like the same universe as the Haunting shows, if those are even in the same universe. It takes place on like a small island that I believe they say is like 30 miles off the coast of Washington State. So like up Pacific Northwest. It's a fishing island, so like that's a lot of the people on the island seem to make their living, but like as fishermen. It's one of those everybody in town knows everybody else. They have like one general store that also appears that it may double as the police station.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think the police station is in like the back of the convenience store essentially.
Yeah.
And everybody on the island except for the sheriff and his son, and the doctor are super Catholic. Like they all go to church every Sunday, and a few of the people go to church like every single day. And the show, it's a horror show. It's got like horror elements to it. It's a very slow burn, and it's very much got like, at least in my opinion, undertones of what the problems with like religious zealots basically are. Like those like people that are just trying to force down your throat their beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
And like what just that blind faith can actually do to people. Because basically at a certain point in the show, like everyone on this island just blindly believes everything that certain characters are telling them, to the point where like shit goes south in the second half of this show.
Yeah.
It does have it's got some people from like the haunting shows. Rahul Cooley, who was he was the chef from Bly Manor with the mustache.
Mm-hmm.
He plays the sheriff, so he plays a Muslim sheriff that I believe he used to be like an FBI agent and left that because of like discrimination and stuff like that, and somehow ended up on this little island with his son, and they're both Muslim, and basically like they essentially don't fit in on there because everybody else is very Catholic and Christian and all that stuff. And there's actually some really well done scenes of like debate where like he is arguing, in anything that has like a Catholic religious overtone, there's always that one lady who's just a super bitch about it. And it's just what she believes is the only thing that's right. And it doesn't matter how she goes about things. She is right. Everybody else is wrong. Fuck everybody else. Like she'll do whatever she wants because she's doing it in the name of her religion.
Yeah.
There's one of those in this show, and there's a couple scenes that are like really good between the two of them, where she's just a giant closed-minded bitch, and he is very much just like, no, I don't think that's wrong. Like you're entirely right. Like we believe in all of the same things. We just also believe in these 4 other things over here to the left. Like,
yeah.
I don't understand what the problem is. And like it was much more detailed than that, but I don't want to spoil too much. And it's almost got like a mystery thing for the first half of the show. Like, something's going on because weird things start happening right away. But, like, you don't really know how weird things get until, like, the second half. And it's only 7 episodes, so it's short. They're all about an hour. And, yeah, it's really good, though. Definitely worth watching.
Nice.
Especially if you liked Hill House.
Yeah, I didn't realize that it was from the people who did Hill House. So, like, I haven't... Not saying I wasn't interested, but I haven't... It hasn't really crossed my radar. But I think I might watch that. Not think. I think I'm gonna watch Squid Games because I'm hearing a lot of good about that first.
Same.
And then watch Midnight Mass.
Yeah, and like I said, it's only 7 episodes, and they're all about an hour, so it shouldn't take you too long to get through it, even if you just did an episode a day.
Yeah.
That's what we did, but it was one of those shows where if we had been watching it on the weekend, which our weekends just happened to be busy this last week, probably would have watched a bunch more, like, kind of in one sitting. But because we were watching it at night, like, after work and all, like, they're just long enough that, like, you don't necessarily want to watch a bunch of them back to back. Especially because, like, they're dark and heavy and weird shit's going on. So you kind of want to break it up with, like, something a little lighter.
Yeah, and, like, for me, it's just this past weekend would have been a really good weekend for me to have watched that. But, like, I kind of just flat out shut down most of the weekend and just didn't do anything but watch Modern Family. So I haven't watched a lot of the stuff that I really...
Well, don't forget to watch the last episode of My Hero.
I already did.
Okay, good job.
That was 2 weeks ago.
Oh, was it? I thought the last episode was this past week.
No, it was 2 weeks.
Oh, shit. I watched the dub, so I'm 2 weeks behind anyway.
Yeah.
Or I guess 1 week now.
Not sure if you're noticing a little BTS for everyone else. Droo keeps coming in and out, so I don't know if he's having internet issues.
Oh, no.
But
you know
he keeps...
that window got minimized.
Yeah,
so.
he keeps graying in and out, so I don't know what's going on with his stuff. He hasn't said anything though. But yeah, that show does sound pretty sweet.
Oh yeah, he just said BRB. He couldn't hear me, so who knows? He seems to be having a lot of internet issues lately.
Yeah,
gotta love the internet. Just never works when you need it to. But yeah, I think you'd like Midnight Mass.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. But I want to do Squid Games first, and I also have to do the Formula One Drive to Survive season 3 still.
Oh yeah, you know what? I watched the first 3 episodes of that. It is actually incredibly interesting. Like, I don't know that I'd necessarily care about the races themselves, but like all the behind the scenes stuff and just kind of like what goes in, especially because this was filmed. It started before COVID, so like their season started as COVID was happening.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting to see, like, they're just kind of like in the first episode, they're just kind of talking to me like, oh yeah, like, are we going to have to like wear masks or something, to all of a sudden like everything shut down. And it's like, wow, that is fucking weird.
Do we want to move forward, or do we want to try to troubleshoot with Droo? We might have to stop the recording and start a new.
He might just be restarting his computer.
It shows him in the room and online. He hasn't responded.
No, but he did see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there he goes. I think he restarted because he dropped out and then he just came back.
Oh, there he is. He should be here now.
There it goes. Now I can hear.
Yeah,
there we go.
There he is. Gotta love the internet, right, Drew?
Yep.
So we can move on now.
Yeah.
To new Smash Bros. Character, the final Smash Bros. And Smash Bros. Ultimate character.
Yeah. So it's fucking Sora. It's another anime sword guy.
Yeah, we shouldn't be surprised though.
No.
I want to talk to you guys about that complaint of it being another anime sword guy.
It's not a complaint. I'm joking. I actually don't care. I think Sora is Sora was apparently the most requested character when they did their poll.
But there's a lot of people out there that complain, oh, it's another anime sword guy. But look at all the characters they have. How many of them use their fucking fists? Mario, Donkey Kong, Yoshi, Kirby, Luigi, Ness, Daisy, Bowser, Sheik, Dr. Mario, Falcon, Ganondorf. And I'm leaving out the Pokemon because they have powers and stuff. But like,
so does Mario. Mario shoots fireballs.
Like, I'm tired of that complaint in the we lost Drootin again. I'm tired of that complaint in the Smash Bros. Realm of another sword character. When you shouldn't be complaining about Smash Bros. Adding another sword character. You should be complaining that there's not enough mainstream main characters that use something besides a sword. Because that's the problem. They pull in the main character.
And I think part of the problem is when people are making fun of the anime sword characters, they're making fun of the Fire Emblem characters because they've added there's four or five Fire Emblem characters.
There is, let's see, display by series.
So I know there's Roy and Marth.
Fire Emblem, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Fire Emblem characters.
And I think they are all generic anime characters with swords.
Well, I mean,
because that's what those characters are.
But like, they're all like the main characters from the games, though. They're not just like, it's not like Hero from Dragon Quest. His name is fucking Hero, which in Dragon Quest you could use any weapon as your main character.
I mean, the same thing is true of Fire Emblem. But like, that's the thing, like, I don't think the complaint is necessarily like people with swords, because like people don't complain about Link, and there are 3 different Links because they all play differently. But I imagine that at least back in the day, like Roy and Marth basically played identically.
Well,
like
yeah. But that's the thing also. Every sword character plays differently. Like all of the Links have similar movesets and abilities, but they all play different. All of the Fire Emblem characters, or some of the Fire Emblem characters, have similar. Like Marth, Roy, and Ike have similar movesets. Marth, Lucina, and Ike, I believe, are the 3 that have similar movesets, but they all play differently. They all fight differently. And there's only 8 Fire Emblem characters. Bailiff, they separate as 9 because it's male and female.
Yeah, and I think that is more the complaint, is there are 9 characters from the same franchise, and they're not all that different because, like you said, they're the main character. Like, the main characters of the Fire Emblem games are the least interesting characters generally. So, like, it's it's kind of like Hero, like they added the most generic character from a franchise.
Yeah. And, like, if you're gonna complain about any character additions to this, just complain about fucking Minecraft Steve, and stop complaining about anything else. Like, I know I make fun of Terry Bogard because I hate his name, and that's really the only reason why I don't like him. But, like, fuck Minecraft Steve, and enjoy your characters as long as it's not Minecraft Steve. There's 88 good characters in this, and Minecraft Steve.
But maybe Minecraft Steve is a good character.
I mean, maybe. I just fuck Minecraft. That's just where I am.
People love like Erica actually really likes Minecraft.
Look, I would probably love Minecraft too, and that's why I don't play.
That's fair.
Because that's, like, I already get lost in a lot of those sandboxes. But just the fact that they added Minecraft Steve, it pisses me off. But back to the conversation in full. Yeah, we got Sora.
Which like, that's fine, I guess.
I was surprised. Because when you asked about it last week, this is actually something that I didn't think of until watching or getting ready to watch the reveal. I just thought of the main character from Monster Hunter Stories, because that's one of the more recent big titles that had come out for the Switch, and maybe that's what they were doing. But no, they have a deal coming up with Kingdom Hearts, which we'll talk about in a little bit, that it's just like a cross promotion here. Their number one brawler game gets the main character from Kingdom Hearts and from Square.
Well, so I think this was a deal that was needed to be made to let them, like, for Nintendo to even want to put Sora in the game.
Oh, I feel like Nintendo wanted to have Sora, and so Square was like, well, you have to put Kingdom Hearts on your console.
No. I think it's a Nintendo directive that the characters in Smash Brothers need to be in games that are on Nintendo platforms.
I believe that is actually true. I heard a couple different places say that, and I don't know that Sora was in, what's the rhythm game that came out like last year? Melody of Memory, Memory of Melody, something like that?
Yeah.
Well, isn't Sora in Dream Drop Distance?
Sora's in every other one. Oh, right, but that was a 3DS game.
Yeah.
Right, no, I forgot about that. So there were a bunch of Nintendo ones then, because there was also Chain of Memories and 365 by 2 days? Does that sound right, Rich?
Yeah, but that one of them didn't have Sora, or some of them don't have Sora in it. Some of the Kingdom Hearts games doesn't have Sora in it.
I thought they all had him in some form.
Probably like at the very end, not as a playable character. Like, it's like as like an end cutscene or something like that. But I mean, the card game was initially released on Game Boy or GBA.
That
Chain of Memories.
Yeah, Chain of Memories,
But
and that
also,
one was that one did have Sora in it, right?
Yeah, it stars Sora. So
okay, I'm just making sure.
Cloud was in Smash in 2018.
That's true.
But Final Fantasy VII wasn't released or put onto a Nintendo console until, I think, according to this, it wasn't on Switch until 2019.
But he was in a Kingdom Hearts game on like DS or Game Boy Advance. He's either in Chain of Memories or Dream Drop Distance.
Okay.
Or it might have been one of the, like, Final Fantasy Dissidia or something. Like, there were handheld games that Cloud was in prior to Smash Brothers.
Dissidia was only PSP or Vita, PSP.
That's why it may not have been Dissidia, but I'm just saying that there was a handheld game that Cloud was in on a Nintendo platform.
But like he was the first one where everyone was like, "Oh, I don't think Cloud was in whatever game until after he was in Smash."
So I was reading stuff the other day. The only character that I could find, not counting Game & Watch, who isn't a real character, that didn't appear on a Nintendo platform game prior to Smash was Roy from Fire Emblem, because he was in Smash Brothers before that game came out. It was like some sort of promotional thing.
Well, he was probably Roy initially put in Smash.
Melee. So like literally it was literally a year apart. Like Melee came out in 2001, the Fire Emblem that he was in came out in 2002. but he was in Smash Brothers as like promotion for that Fire Emblem game.
Yeah, so it was still, he was in that for the upcoming Fire Emblem game, and it's probably not even a year, probably a few months.
It's months, but also that's a Nintendo game.
Yeah.
Versus a third-party game.
That's true. Okay, and so it looks like
Melee was released Japan November, and the first Fire Emblem game that Roy was in was March. So it was only 6 months, right? Am I doing the math right? Something like that.
Yeah, that sounds right.
5 months? 5-6 months. So, I get what you're saying, because you sent that text like he's actually Roy from Smash, but it was the cross promo and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, no, like, it's just funny that, like, his first actual appearance is in Smash, whereas every other character, like, comes from something else first. Because even Snake was technically on a Nintendo platform before he was added to Smash, because he was in,
Twin Snakes.
Thank you, I could not, I was about to say VR missions, I'm like, no, that was like the PSP one.
Yeah, it was Twin Snakes, and I believe they did another one on the, I think they did multiple Metal Gear games on Nintendo consoles. Just it took. I feel like maybe Metal Gear Solid 2 was on a Nintendo console. I can't remember. Nope. Or they planned for it and it just never happened. Twin Snakes on the GameCube though, that was great because when you fight Psycho Mantis, you have three controller ports that you have to choose from, and not just one. So if you choose the wrong one, he still has control over it.
Really?
I believe so. I'm 99% sure. Like, because the key to fighting Psycho Mantis on the PlayStation version was to disconnect your controller from port 1 and connect it to port 2. Then he can't read your mind. But on the GameCube and Twin Snakes, there's 4 controller ports. So I think you actually had to choose the right one that he wasn't reading.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Because they also did that with, they had to make sure what's-her-name's codec was on the game box because they kept that line of dialogue in there. Where Otacon's like, or whoever it is, it's like, if you want to contact them, check your game box or something like that.
I remember that from Metal Gear Scanlan, where they actually had to bring up a copy of the game box because they were playing like the digital version of it or something.
Oh, well, we had that hacked, or that modded PlayStation.
All right, you were a pirate.
We actually had to Google what her codec was, to figure out exactly what her numbers were, and I think there was one point where like we didn't have internet access or something, so we just had to go through each number one by one until we found it.
That sounds excruciating.
Yeah.
Also, I just looked. Cloud was in Chain of Memories.
Okay.
So it tracks. He was on Nintendo before he was in Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, he was in Chain of Memories. That's right, but briefly and only in Olympus, like he was in the original Kingdom Hearts. He didn't play a main character. He was just an enemy. But yeah, he was.
But yeah, I mean, he appeared on the platform. But yeah, anyway, so Sora is the last ever complete final Smash character. There's never going to be any other characters. Sora locked the door behind him with his Keyblade. Some of I just wrote some notes down. The video was very goofy, and it was like this, like, I don't know. It made Sora look like he was like the champion of the world, and like it's just fucking Sora. Like, he can barely save his friends.
I mean, you probably didn't, you might have recognized, like, the heroes that you play as, they were all toys again, or trophies, which they haven't been for this entire game. Like, there was an actual, like, story and stuff, and they never actually referenced the playable characters as, like, toys or trophies. So in this final one, it, like, kind of brought me back a little bit, whereas, like, they're sitting on that little pedestal as a trophy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I didn't catch that, but I have not actually played a Smash game in 15 years or something like that.
Yeah.
I mentioned it before, but apparently Sora was the number one most requested character.
Yeah, they ran a poll back when they released it on the Wii U and 3DS, and Sora was number one, which, I mean, there's been a huge outcry for Waluigi, so maybe Sora was number one, but
I feel like the Waluigi stuff is the vocal, like, minority, whereas, like, a lot of other people just wanted Sora because they're Kingdom Hearts fans, and that was a worldwide poll, I believe, not just the shitty corner of the internet that inhabits Twitter that wants Waluigi.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like the Waluigi stuff has been more recent and
Mhm.
not like 6 years ago.
That's true too.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't recall Waluigi being a big deal back with the Wii U version and 3DS version, but like,
Definitely
it's
not.
been a huge cry like for him because like, oh, you have Wario, why not Waluigi? You have Daisy. I mean, you don't really have Daisy. She's an alternate skin for Peach. Like, it's not you can't do Waluigi as Wario.
Yeah, that is true. So I don't know if you guys noticed this. I actually went back and watched after I saw this. In the stained glass for the level, they removed all the Disney characters that would have normally been in there, like Goofy and Donald.
Sounds about right.
I mean, I didn't notice that. If it's true, it's true. I'm not really surprised.
Oh no, it has to have been a licensing nightmare to get both Disney and Square Enix to agree to terms for this.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I got the impression based on some Twitter stuff that John Drake, formerly of Harmonix, was heavily involved in that because he was tweeting a whole bunch after the reveal and seemed very excited about it, and then he's like, "All right, I need a nap now."
Yeah.
So Rich, just so you know, he is somebody that appears on a lot of Giant Bomb stuff over the years, but he is currently like head of like third-party development for Disney or something like that. So like he is one of the people in charge of like licensing out Disney characters to different studios to make games.
Okay.
So yeah. And then I don't know if you guys saw or not, but Twitter was actually trending after this with "Thank you, Sakurai."
Mm-hmm.
Which, you know what, like that is actually kind of nice. Like it was a lot of people just like excited that like, you know, Smash Brothers exists.
Yeah, he seemed very excited to be there, and like kind of it seemed, at least watching the video, that he was kind of a little down that it was the last one.
Well, he has apparently said numerous times over the years that like he doesn't want to make this game anymore. Like it's not that he doesn't want to ever make it again. It's just the last 25 years has that's all he's gotten to work on is Smash Brothers games.
Mm-hmm.
And like I don't know whether he wants a break from making games or if he just wants to work on something different, but like that's why this was Ultimate. Like he basically wants to put everybody in here and then step away for a while.
Yeah.
And I can't say I blame him.
I mean, and it could definitely be doable. Like we've said, like I also didn't realize that like Ultimate's only been like 2 years old.
It came out 2018, right? Because it wasn't launch year. I think it was the following year.
I can't remember, but he had said something about 2 years. All right,
December 7th, 2018.
Okay, yeah. So it was the second year of the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's been, but the new characters have been over the past 2 years. But it's just, yeah, I didn't realize that Smash Bros. Was that young. I thought it was an older game.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is like the same basic game as the Wii U one, right? Just with more characters, or is this actually like all new levels and everything?
This is all new. Well, it's everything ever put in Smash. All levels and everything from previous Smash games put into this one, as well as its own story with the game board mode that they had in it.
Okay, so that wasn't just ported up from the Wii U.
No.
Okay.
No. The Wii U version was Wii U and 3DS.
I remembered that part, but I don't play these games. They're not fun for me, so I just... And with the track record Nintendo has had, where basically every Wii U game got ported to the Switch, I just kind of assumed that was the case here too, and they just went further with this one by just adding in every character.
No, it was its own thing. Like, which like I said, which is why I was like, I didn't realize it was that young. Like, only 3 years old. Like, that's not that old for a Nintendo party game.
That's true.
Like, we've been playing Mario Kart 8 since the Wii U.
I mean, really, like, it's Mario Kart 8 isn't all that different from Mario Kart 7 either.
Yeah.
But they also, just real quick, they announced that Doomslayer is going to be a Mii skin.
Mm-hmm.
Have they announced that they're putting any Doom music in there? Because that would be something.
I don't think so.
No, it was all Kingdom Hearts music that's going to be in the new pack. So the new pack, if you download the character pack for Sora, it's going to include the Doomslayer stuff. But any of the music and things like that is going to be the Sora level or the Kingdom Hearts level and all the Kingdom Hearts music. No Doom.
Is that accurate with the Mii fighter stuff with Sora? Because it said they were like 75 cents each or some shit
I believe
when they announced the characters.
At least I believe it's included in the DLC pack, like the season pass. But I feel like
I don't think it is. I don't think it is. Unless I didn't totally read what that thing at the very end said, but I'm gonna check. Because I did remember seeing there be a specific cost for the 3 Mii Fighter DLCs they added. Of course, this article doesn't say.
Well, while you guys are looking for that, do you think there is going to be another Smash Brothers anytime soon? Or do you think they're going to take a little bit of a break from making more of them?
I totally feel like they're going to take a break. They're not going to release a new game just after finishing this game with 89 characters. Yeah, I think it would be silly for them if they were to release Super Smash Bros. Extreme in 2 years. Like, we're not getting a new Smash Bros. Until a few years after the next console is released.
I agree on that. I think it's far less likely we see a new Smash before we see a new Mario Kart.
Yeah, we definitely need a new Mario Kart before we do get a new Smash.
Nah, it's fine.
Look, I'm getting tired of playing the same maps over.
Well, just stop playing Mario Kart then.
I don't really play it that often.
Then how are you tired of playing the same maps over and over?
Because I've been playing them since the Wii U.
You're just contradicting yourself now, but you just said you don't play them all that often.
Maybe like once a month, but I'm getting tired of playing them because I've been playing them since the Wii U. Like, I've been playing them for the better part of, like, what was Mario Kart release date? The initial release date for Mario Kart 8 was 2014. So I've been playing those same maps for 7 years.
That's
Over
fine.
7 years, because it's May 29th, 2014. Like, I'm tired of playing those same maps. I want new maps. I want new character skins, or I want a new game mode. Like, I don't like the battle mode in this game at all. In this one, it's not as good. Some of the maps suck, and it's just, I want new maps. So in my opinion, we desperately need a new Mario Kart before we get a new Kingdom Hearts, or not Kingdom Hearts, Smash Bros.
I mean, you're probably right. I am fine just with the same Mario Kart because, like, the maps aren't ever all that different. Like, I'm not playing them because I need map diversity. I'm playing them because it's fun to race people. But even then, like, I rarely do that because I don't want to play online.
Like, when I play with my friends, I like, it's great, but, like, I don't often have a push to play by myself because I have 3-starred 50, 100, and 150cc for every cup. I don't know, which is just doing 150cc, but, like, I've played it so much, each of those maps since 2014, that, like, the only diversity I can give is doing mirror mode, and that's, mirror mode sucks.
No, you just gotta get good. It's fine.
But it's just like, I don't care. I don't care to play it by myself right now. I want to play a new Mario Kart game by myself.
Maybe you should just get good at the one that you have.
Well, I'll probably just play Super Mario Kart instead.
I was gonna say that, and I think they're adding Mario Kart 64 when they add the 64 games.
Yeah, they are.
So there you go. Go play that one. That is one of the best Mario Karts.
I don't think I've ever actually really played 64.
So I will say, I mean, 64 is missing, like, a lot of the stuff that, like, has just become synonymous, like the drifting and all. But it arguably has the best battle mode.
Mm-hmm. It does.
Like the battle mode on 64 was the best battle mode they had.
Yeah.
The levels worked better for it. It was just overall a good time. Like, getting in there on, like, there's the one level, I think it's like blocks or something like that, where, like, it's multiple levels of basically giant Legos. Mm-hmm. And just getting on there and just shooting shells in every direction so they just keep ricocheting all over the floor. And it's basically a race to see who falls off the fucking blocks first.
Yeah.
It's great. It's a good time.
So the Mii Fighter skins do not come with Sora.
Okay.
Or the fighter pack thing that Sora's in. They're 75 cents a piece, so it's not like they're expensive.
Yeah, that's not awful.
I've never taken note of that because I don't create a Mii Fighter, so I've never really cared to pay attention.
Yeah, well, they never had Doom Guy before.
I mean, they've had some cool Mii Fighter skins, but even with Doom Guy, I'm not gonna make my Mii Fighter look like Doom Guy. I don't care to edit my Mii Fighter. I don't use Mii Fighter.
But now you can, and then you can look like Doom Guy for 75 cents.
I mean, I could use Mii Fighter even before he looked like Doom.
Yeah, but why would you? Now you can because he looks like Doom Guy.
But
it's like you're not following along.
why would I now if I never did before?
Why wouldn't
Because
you?
it wasn't Doom Guy before. Now it can be Doom Guy.
But that doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
It
'cause
doesn't
it's Doom
change.
Guy.
It doesn't change how the me fighters
Yeah, but
fight.
now he's going to strike fear into the hearts of demons.
Kazuya, I believe, is the only one in the cast, and it doesn't even matter.
I don't know. I mean, like, Pokemon have to be some sort of demon, right?
They're pocket monsters. They're not demons.
Monsters,
They're
demons,
monsters,
same deal.
see? Right,
Monsters
right in
and
the name.
demons. Monsters and demons aren't the same thing.
Says
They're
you.
not. They're not.
Says you.
Also, Doom Guy would totally go kill Ridley. Like, what do you...
He would. Ridley does not look that different from some of the shit you fight in Doom. I also keep forgetting Ridley is a fighter in Smash Brothers.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Cobb, I see you have a thing written here about Sora looking like Kingdom Hearts 1.
Yeah, and I saw a couple people online say the same thing. Like, it looks like the outfit he wears in Kingdom Hearts 1.
Well,
Because they change it between games.
Well, and that's his different colors.
Oh,
So
so that's right. They have different like outfit choices, don't they?
Yeah, so he's not as short, like, as dumb as this is going to sound, he's not as short as he was in Kingdom Hearts 1. He's still tall Sora from Kingdom Hearts 2. But they changed his color, like, his alternate colors are Kingdom Hearts 1, Kingdom Hearts 2, the Valor form, the Wisdom form, the Final form. I think it's like the Blitz form or whatever. I think Dark Sora? No. But
No,
the Steamboat Willie Sora for sure is one as well.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah, so
the Steamboat Willie actually has different face animations than the rest of the Sora.
that is actually kind of funny. But if you are also confused about all these different forms of Sora, and you only own a Switch, that's okay. Because you're going to be able to play all of these wonderful Kingdom Hearts games on your Switch soon.
Yeah. As the cloud versions only, though. Which, to me, I think is weird for at least 1.5, 2.8. Like, for the first two. Like, 3, I'm not too surprised that it's only the cloud version. But, like, I figured that the Switch should have been able to handle Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 and 2
Yeah,
and a half,
even the
whatever.
HD remakes should have been
Yeah.
possible. The only thing I can think of is the games are actually very large, and literally the Switch can't have that.
Yeah, that's probably more so what it is, though, is like the amount of space. Because 1.5 at Kingdom Hearts 1, Kingdom Hearts Rechain of Memories, Kingdom Hearts 2, Kingdom Hearts, the one that they turned just into the movie that you have to read most of it, that takes about an hour.
Recoded, I think, right?
Something
Or is that
like
Chain
that.
of Memories?
No, that's Chain of Memories. That's not Chain of Memories. It might be Recode.
Or
And
365 by 2 days, maybe?
I think it's that one. It's 365 by 2. Yeah, it's like 1.5 plus 2.5 is so much. So it makes sense for at least that one to be cloud because, like, there's all of this. But 2.8, final chapter prologue, whatever, blah, 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 like, there's only a little bit that's actually on there.
Yeah, I honestly think it's just size, because, like, I have all of those on the PlayStation, and they're not small downloads, and I think the Switch tries to stay away from games that can't fit on a card or fit on a Switch internal storage.
Yeah.
I know that's not always the case because they have games that can't do either and you need an SD card, but I think that's like a thing that they aim for. And now that they're doing these cloud games, they're probably going to try and do more games, especially ports as cloud versions, so that developers don't actually have to do any work to them. They can they just have to make them play over the network.
Okay, so the 1.5, 2.5 HD remix is 60 gigs, so that doesn't fit on a cart or
Yeah, it's
Switch.
It's more than double the capacity of the Switch.
Yeah.
2.8 is 30 gigs, so
Really?
like,
It would fill it up.
well, 'cause, I mean, 2.8 is 2. It's all of 2. It's not like just that little bit.
But-
It's 2.5 plus more, and 2.5 standalone was 2.5 HD is 20.2 gigs.
Right, because you know what it is, Rich? And you and I think we're thinking the same thing. 2.8 does have all... no, it doesn't have all of 2 in it. It's got all of Dream Drop Distance, but then it's got the mini-sode of Birth by Sleep.
Mm-hmm. That's what it is.
Yeah. So Dream
Okay.
Drop... it's the full game of Dream Drop Distance plus, like, the other stuff.
Yeah.
Which is just stupid. Like, why is it 2.8?
I with all of this announcement, I kind of want to go back and finish my playthrough. Because I was on 3D. So I didn't have a lot left. It was Dream Drop, and then the final chapter prologue, and then 3. Like, I didn't have a lot left.
Yeah, you're almost there. You could do that.
But I got so burnt out playing 1 Rechain plus Riku story in Rechain plus 2 and everything else. It's just so much that I got so burnt out. But I've been thinking of going back and playing through them again.
Yeah, it's been a little over a year since you did that, I think, right?
Probably something like that. I don't know.
I think it was pre-COVID that you were doing that, because I think you started it before 3 came out.
Yeah.
And 3 came out...
No, I got 3... I got them all for under $100, including 3.
Right. So I think it was 2019 that you did it.
Yeah.
So it's been a little while. You could probably dip back into it and finish up the little bit you have left, and then just be confused at the end as to why you did it to yourself.
Yeah.
But something else you did to yourself, you beat a Metroid. You beat a Super Metroid.
Yes, I beat Super Metroid. The hardest boss in that game was Ridley, for sure.
No, he takes 30 seconds at the beginning of the game.
No, you have to fight Ridley at the end of the game.
I know, I'm fucking with you.
I'm so confused.
But he's very easy at the beginning of the game.
You don't really fight him. I don't think he can kill you at the beginning part. I think once he gets your health down to a certain point, he does his little cutscene. I don't know, though.
I'm not sure either, but, that would explain why he's so easy.
But when, I went and I streamed yesterday, or on Monday, for my, to play Super Metroid, and the goal was to beat it on Monday. I started playing around 7 o'clock, a little after 7. And I didn't beat Ridley till maybe 9:30.
Yeah, I did actually. I opened your stream up while you were... I think it was actually your last run against Ridley. I didn't have the sound on at all. Uh-huh. But I watched you, make your way to the room and then fight Ridley, and you did beat Ridley. He turned... I'm gonna be honest, though. It was not a clean fight.
No, not at all.
You took a lot of unnecessary damage. You wasted a lot of super missiles.
Yeah, that's the problem, is he requires almost a full thing of super missiles. So after I went after him a handful of times, and with only 35 super missiles, and was having trouble killing him, I went around and found all the super missiles I hadn't picked up to get full 50. Because if you miss with 1 super missile, it takes 6 regular missiles to hurt him the same as 1 super missile. Something like that.
Yeah, I watched you when you ran out of super missiles, just spamming your regular ones and missing him a time and again. I'm just ooh, that's rough. But I also watched you spend 5 minutes farming one of the enemies for health before you went there.
Well, and that's there's a room that I call the fuck you room, and when you're going to Ridley, it starts to fill with acid, and you have to make your way to the top of the room. So if you're good enough with the space jump and everything, or the screw jump, you can make your way up there no problem if you know that you have to get up there. The first time I went through that, I didn't know I had to go up. I thought, I didn't know I had to go, up at a certain point and around. So I just jumped all the way over to the side of the room, hit the wall, saw that I had to go up, dropped, fell into some acid, lost a lot of my health, but went and got an energy tank that fills up your health all the way. Went and fought Ridley, couldn't kill him, went back and got all the energy tanks and had to go back through that fucking acid fuck you room. And so then I had to sit there and bring my health back, because at that point, for some reason, I wasn't able to do the screw jump as well as I've been doing it throughout the rest of the game. And these Pro controllers are not that good for a game like that.
Wait, did you buy a Pro controller?
I've had a Pro controller for a while.
Oh, when did you get it?
I got one for at least, not at least, I got it for Rise, but much prior to that. A lot
I didn't think you actually got it, because you had wanted the Monster Hunter themed one, and it was never available.
Yeah, I wanted the Monster Hunter themed one, but I think the Pro controllers were on sale at one point, so I just bought it.
But I agree that there is no modern controller that is actually good to play some of those, Super Nintendo games on.
And the problem is, like, I tend to have my finger at the top of the button, and so, like, when I'm hitting, like, left or right, it'll, like, also think I'm hitting up, and that'll screw everything up. So when I was trying to do the wall jumps earlier on, I couldn't, because it was, you have to hit the controller so specific, because it's, like, it seems like it's not buttons on each of the directional buttons, it's just, like, a little, I don't really know even how to explain.
They aren't individual buttons, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Actually,
So,
no, they might be.
So at one point, even when I was playing, when I was doing it, I tried switching to my Joy-Cons, and, like, I couldn't get, like, this is when I found the one room that you have to actually do the wall jump to get up over it. Like, I tried using my Joy-Cons, and for, like, about 20 minutes I had to fight with my Switch to let me use the Joy-Cons, because it wouldn't identify that the Joy-Cons connected as a single controller, because for some reason it was identifying my GameCube controller that's connected to my Switch for when I play Smash as the controller that I was going to play on. So anytime I connected my Joy-Cons, it was connecting as controller 2 and not controller 1.
Oh, that's super annoying.
Yeah, I straight up had a full, like, breakdown, because this one part I couldn't get the jumps, and I was like, this is gonna get me to stop playing Metroid, is this jump right here. And I was able to I eventually got to it, got all the way up, found out that everything I was trying to get all the way up, there's nothing there, so I shouldn't have even been trying to do it, and got really mad.
Oh, that's always the worst.
Yeah, and I was like, alright, never doing that again, fuck that. Fuck those wall jumps. Which is why I don't really care to get 100% in Super Metroid. I got 75%, which is good enough. I got to see her face.
You're 3/4 of the way there.
I got to see her face. That's all I needed. Because I think, isn't it if you get 100%, like, she's in a bikini or something? I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I know it was like that in, like, original Metroid.
I mean, you're honestly, like, maybe. I know that it did have some weird stuff depending on, like, the percentage that you completed in, but I beat Super Metroid one time, like, years ago, and I don't even think I was at 75%.
Yeah. I did use a, so in the original Metroid, yeah, if you 100% it, she was in a bikini. If you, like, the original Metroid, you have to, beat it in under an hour, and she's in a bikini.
Oh, okay.
You need to beat under 3 hours, and she's in, like a one-piece bathing suit. And yeah, in Super Metroid, best ending, by playing for under 3 hours, she's in a bikini.
That's so dumb.
3 to 10, she takes off her helmet, and that's what I got. I got the 3 to 10, because I beat it in, like, 6 hours.
Which isn't bad.
No. Metroid Fusion, playing under 2 hours with 100% items, you get her in this 2-piece.
Now, you're not going to play Fusion, though, right? You're just going to go right to Dread?
Yeah, I have no way of playing Fusion at the moment, and no way of streaming Fusion, so yeah, I'm just going to go...
Legally. You have no way to play it legally.
I mean, if I had a ROM, I would play it. I mean,
you have the internet, you have ROMs.
Yeah, but I'm just like, I'm not good at setting it up, you know that.
What setup? You download it off of a torrent site that doesn't look too shady, and then you're off to the races.
Torrent sites don't exist anymore.
Yes, they do.
I know.
You're just bad at the internet, that's all.
I am bad at the internet. But I definitely would play Fusion if I could get it. Find an easy way to play it, but it was a GBA game, so it wouldn't be too bad. But also, Fusion comes out on Friday, tomorrow, for those of you listening to this the day it comes out. So, yeah, or not Fusion, Dread comes out on Friday, so I'm just gonna skip Fusion and just play Dread when it...
Man, you're gonna miss a big portion of the story, though.
I watched a video on IGN today for the full story of Metroid.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, and it's a half hour long, and it also includes Fusion, or not Fusion, Prime, which apparently all of Metroid Prime takes place between Metroid 1 and 2, is what people are thinking. It's not like canon, but it's what people are thinking, because at the end of, like, Metroid 2 is Samus going and killing all the Metroids in the galaxy. So, Metroid Prime, there's still Metroids around and stuff. So it's pre-2 is what they're thinking.
So does 2 take place after Fusion then? Because there's Metroids in Fusion. I honestly don't. So I've never played Metroid 2 because that was a Game Boy game.
So and this is what the video shows is it goes Metroid 1, then the Primes, then Metroid 2, Super Metroid, then Other M takes place between Super Metroid and Fusion.
Which makes sense because Fusion, the suit, is semi-organic.
And then Fusion is takes place after Other M, but then there's a 6-month gap because was it 6 months, I think? Or there's a time gap because she gets infected with this parasite X is what they call it. And like they have to fix her up, which gets her that fusion suit, that teal suit. And then she goes around and she finds out that they were trying to reproduce the Metroids, and you learn that the Chozo created the Metroids in order to fight Parasite X, and that's how the Metroids became terrible. So like so the Metroids that are in Fusion as well as Other M are clones of the Metroid from Super Metroid that absorbed Mother Brain's power and gave it to Samus at the end fight, and they used the whatever leftover DNA that was on Samus's suit and stuff to create the Metroids in Other M and Metroid.
Oh yeah, so I'm actually looking on the Metroid wiki. It's got like a little box that's Metroid story chronology, and like that also has it listed as exactly what you just said as Metroid, and then Prime and Hunters in after that, and then it comes down to Metroid 2, Super Metroid, Other M, Fusion, and Dread. Yeah, and in Other M, you are introduced to a colonel who sacrifices himself to destroy the Metroids that are on the spaceship, the space station that you're on. The voice in your suit that's talking to you in Fusion is the voice of that captain. That's like, it's a computer voice of that captain, from what this dude from the IGN video said. Okay, well that's kind of cool. It was really cool, and I will actually, I'll give you the link. I don't know if you want to link it in the show notes if people want to listen to it or check it out. Yeah, throw it in the chat, and I'll throw it in my notes so that I don't forget. But it was it's not IGN, it's GameSpot actually. I thought it was IGN. Why isn't it just letting me share? Why do I'll send it to you later because I have Pete's live stream on in the background. I don't want to close that. Oh, you and your live stream. I'm helping a buddy out by feeding his views.
Just go spam the chat with the link to PodQuest.
and giving no, that's look. I'm in Drew, and I'm in that potato Discord that I'm just also hesitant in sharing my stuff on there. So I don't do that stuff. I'm always hesitant because I don't want people to think that I'm just like a giant jerk. Yeah. Too late. But they've shared it on there a few times, but I've never shared it myself. I don't know what you're talking about, so it's a Discord channel that me and Drew. Anything else you want to say about Super Metroid though? No, it was good. It was a lot better than I was expecting. A lot more enjoyable. I definitely would play it again in time. But now I gotta figure out what I'm gonna play on Thursday, because I'm gonna stick with doing retro games on Thursday. So I don't know what to play. Super Mario World. I thought about it. I thought about Mario World, Super Mario World. Isn't Mario RPG on the SNES thing? It's on the SNES Classic. It is not part of the Switch Online app. I swore they said it was gonna be sooner. Nope. That has never been re-released like on that stuff. I think you could get it on like the Wii Virtual Console. Maybe
I don't think it.
I know it's on the SNES Classic. But yeah, that is another one of those ones where I think it's because there's some weird licensing with Square that it's just not like readily available. But no, you can beat Mario World in a sitting. So like you could theoretically beat it tomorrow. I mean, I'm probably not going to be like if I were to do Mario World, I'd probably continue playing it until I beat it. But I don't generally do like the flutes and everything. I play through world by world.
There's no fucking flutes in Mario World.
Learn your Mario history, man. Well, I don't do like the not the flutes, but you know what I'm talking. Like I don't know the back stages and the back ways to get to the final area in an hour and shit like that. Like I don't.
An hour? You can get there in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know that. Well, that's you figure it out. You got this. Or you just play the game like it was fucking made to be played.
And even
it's
then,
it's made to be beaten in 10 minutes. God damn it!
Yeah, and honestly, like how long do you normally stream for on a Thursday?
Between like 2 to 3 hours, depends. I mean, I accidentally streamed for about 4.5 last night, but that's because I was playing the Beaver game and I couldn't stop.
All right, so main story, Super Mario World, 5 hours. You could theoretically beat that game tomorrow.
Yeah, I could.
Because like, and not even doing like the weird stuff. Like, assuming you're not trying to 100% the game and you don't take any shortcuts, I could get up to Bowser's World in probably an hour and a half, 2 hours.
But he sucks at platformers, so
yeah,
that's true.
He's never going to get out of the first area. But
he will.
4 hours.
He can make it to at least Vanilla Cave.
That's what I was also going to say. There's a difference between me and you, Cobb, and I have not played Super Mario World as much as you.
That's true.
Like,
but you can make it to Vanilla Cave.
I've maybe done like the first Boo Castle, and really that's the furthest I've ever been in those games.
And you know what? That is almost to Vanilla Cavern. Actually, I think it's Vanilla Cavern. Like, you're almost there. You're like, one, two. It's either 2 levels, a castle, and the cave, or 1 level, the castle, and a cave. I think it's 2, though.
I might do that, so I might try those. I might also try, like, Breath of Fire or something. One of the RPGs that they have on there.
Or grab one of those random games that you've never heard of.
Yeah, it could just be... See, that's the only problem with Twitch streaming, is, like, you have to put I don't have to put a category, but it's better to put it... Like, you can't just put, like, Super Nintendo on Switch app, or whatever. Like, it has to be the game.
You put variety.
I guess I could just put variety. I don't know if that'll really pull people in.
I mean, that's what a lot of people have, is they put variety, especially when they're switching between games, or you pick the game before you start streaming, and then you type it in right as you start to stream, or change it midstream.
Yeah, I could just change it midstream. We'll see, but that's the thing. I'm trying to figure out what to do with Retro Thursdays now, now that I don't have Metroid. And I'm doing Metroid Mondays, with the exception of Friday, because Metroid comes out on Friday, and I don't want to wait 4 days to play it. So I'm going to stream it when it comes out, when I get it on Friday.
So I think since you at least tried to play all of the Metroids that were available, like, reasonably, that the next thing you do is the Marios. Start with the original Mario. Do Mario 1, 2, 3 Lost Levels and World, because that is also available on there. And Yoshi's Island. That's 7 retro games. You might not make it past Mario 2, but you'll at least try. And Japanese Mario 2 Lost Levels, not our Mario 2.
I don't want to play levels.
Why not?
I don't.
It's fine.
It's not that bad. He's not asking you to play Super Mario Brothers Deluxe. That's what that fucking nightmare shit was called that Jeff was playing for a while, right?
Yeah, the one that was like the PC version or what have you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a bad one.
Yeah, no, I don't. See, I'm so bad at platforming. Like, I don't want to play, like, I'm good with 3D Mario games, but 2D Mario games I'm not really that great with, so, like, and I'm not really that great with, like, 2D games in general, which is why I do want to do these Retro Thursdays to play these old games that I never really played when I was younger. I don't want to do Lost Levels.
That's why I think if you did Mario Brothers 1, Super Mario Brothers 1, I should say, and then dipped your toe into Lost Levels, like, you don't have to finish it, but, like, give it a shot, see why it wasn't released in America the first time, and then move on to the other ones, because you could, like, US Mario Brothers 2 is a very different game, and then 3 is a more traditional, and so is World, and then Yoshi's Island is honestly just super easy. Like, by the time you get through all the other ones, like, Yoshi's Island is just kind of like this pleasant little dreamscape. There's also Kirby. The original Kirby is on the NES app.
Yeah, the Kirby's, which I thought about, even Kid Icarus is on there. I thought about playing through that. Which I believe Kid Icarus is kind of like a Metroidvania. I don't remember though.
I mean, it's not just because, like, those games didn't really exist that way on the NES. Like, it really, like, the Metroidvania style really didn't happen until like that mid-90s. Because even the original Metroid and Super Metroid are pretty different in a lot of aspects. Kid Icarus is not a good game. The updated one, the 3DS one, was actually pretty cool. The original, not a good game. It's It's just you just kind of keep going up, if I remember. I only played it for a little while, but it was very unfun.
No, there's like side scrolling and stuff. It's not just up.
But like it's one of those games where like you can, it's almost like Pac-Man, like you can pass through the side of the screen and then come out the other side.
No, it's not. I played a little bit. It's an actual like story-based game.
Kid Icarus, the original one on NES. No, I'm pretty sure it does that. Like you can go up and like off the screen and everything.
Is a side-scrolling platformer with role-playing elements. According to the player controls the protagonist Pit, who through two-dimensional levels which contain monsters, obstacles, and items. Pit's primary weapon is a bow with an unlimited supply of arrows. It can be upgraded with 3 collectible power items.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now, and that is not the game I'm thinking of. What fucking game did I play on the Switch that I'm thinking of? I'll have to look at that NES app and see what the fuck game I played. Because there was a game that I definitely thought was Kid Icarus, and it was a very bad game. It was very vertical, and you kind of had that, like, if you went off, like, the right side of the screen, you'd come back onto the left, and you'd have to use that to, like, kind of make your way up further. And it was just not fun. It didn't control well. I didn't like it.
Yeah, I don't know what game.
I don't know anymore either, because for the last, like, 3 years, I've definitely thought it was Kid Icarus.
Yeah, I knew it wasn't Kid Icarus.
It looks like you do that in Kid Icarus. You go from the left to the right. Like, maybe not everywhere in that game, but literally in the first video that shows for Kid Icarus NES playthrough, the first little clip that showed in the, like, autoplay was someone going through a thing on the left of the screen and coming out on the right to be able to jump up to another platform.
Maybe it's the beginning of the first level then, and I didn't like it enough that I just never got past it. Like, that's entirely possible.
Yeah, I don't know. Look, now that I think about it, Kirby might be one of my top choices because they have the new Kirby game coming out, and so this gives me more time. Even though, like, that game's not coming out for, like, until next year, or, like, mid next year, spring, I think it was, or summer. I might do Kirby. Well, I don't know. Figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, look, the original, I think it's Kirby's Adventure, I think, is the second Kirby game, but that's the one on NES. It's a very good game. Like, it's worth playing.
Yeah, I think I played a little bit of it back when it first came out. Then there's just a whole bunch of these ridiculous, random, weird games on both apps that I kind of want to try.
Play City Connection.
What is City? Is that a city builder?
No, you fucking drive around a car? It's a fucking weird-ass game.
Also, I opened up the video that Drew sent, and yeah, this is definitely the game I thought it was. Yeah. I do not like Kid Icarus at all.
Okay.
That's just me. You might enjoy it. I thought it was a very bad game.
I could play Joe and Mac. I think there's like a couple of Joe and Macs.
There you go.
But like I said, I think I was really looking at Breath of Fire 1 and 2, maybe. I don't know. If you guys have suggestions for what I should play on Retro Thursdays, definitely send in those suggestions on socials and stuff.
Is that all you have about Metroid and such, though?
Yeah. Super Metroid is a great game.
It is. It is highly regarded for a reason. So, anyway, though, I don't have a lot to say about it, but I did start playing Scarlet Nexus.
Oh, yeah?
How is it?
It's actually fun. It's fucking anime as all hell, though.
Mm-hmm.
So I mentioned this in the chat, and Drew, I think I actually said it to you on Sunday also. It's got like a 30-minute cold open followed by an anime intro.
That's very anime.
Yeah, like, you play through the... You guys both played the demo, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you play through the training VR mission again, but you actually get, like, the narrative to explain what the fuck is going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then you play through a modified version of the level that you play after that, where you have to fight the creature and drop the stuff on them. But it's a smaller team. You're not actually traveling with, like, a full team of 3 or 4 or whatever. It's just you and one other person. Maybe 2.
Okay.
But once you finish that, it then cuts to a music video. But not like the same one that they played in the demo where it was an actual music video. It's just an anime intro. It's a bunch of shots of, like, the game and the characters doing cool shit while, like, J-pop plays in the background.
Okay.
It was very weird and funny, and it even ends on, like, a very anime splash screen, which is also just the title screen of the game, where it's the male and female protagonists, like, kind of standing back to back on, like, a cliff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it really is about as anime as you can. It's fun, though. I have enjoyed what I've played so far. The combat is the same as it was in the demo. Nothing really different there. They are, at least, I think I've played maybe like 3 hours of it, and they are kind of cycling like teammates in, so I haven't just had a team of everybody yet. It's been, here's one person that has clairvoyance, so their powers, technically, they can see slightly into the future, but the power you get from them is more, you can find things that are hidden. So if an enemy is invisible, or if an enemy sets out like a smoke screen, you can basically find them and attack them. Or, there's like the fire and the electricity. One of the characters has duplicity, where they multiply themselves, but when you take their power, it actually doubles up your psychic power. So when you do the psychic move where like you grab an item from the level and like smash it into the thing, it does it twice, which is cool. Okay. Like it's extra. And like there are like little nuances to some of them where I forget the exact circumstances with that one, but if you do a certain thing with duplicity, it actually lets you do another thing right after. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. I haven't really hit a lot of story yet, but from what I heard when the game released, it is a very weird anime story. So I'm interested to see just how weird it does get. But yeah, it's neat, and it's on Game Pass. So if you're subscribed to Game Pass, you can play it on PC or Xbox for less than $60, which is, I think, what it still costs. And if you played the demo before you get it, it does unlock some like items, it seems. I unfortunately, I played the demo on the PlayStation, so I don't get any of that on the Xbox, but there's like a little menu section for it if you did it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, it's a neat game. I'm interested to play some more of it. And the combat is actually a lot of fun. Like once you kind of get used to it and get in the groove of like switching abilities and kind of like using them when you can and timing your different special attacks, there's a lot to it.
The anime of Scarlet Nexus is on Funimation. I keep seeing ads for it on Instagram. So I'm just like, do I get the game or do I just watch the anime? Do I find a way to watch the anime?
Well, I mean, you don't have to find a way. You just sign up for a free trial of Funimation.
But I think it's still ongoing, so I'd have to wait until after.
Oh yeah, you know what? It's been on there for a while, but I don't know how many episodes it's supposed to be.
I think they just released a new episode, and so they're on like 14 right now.
Yeah,
like
they're on 14. I'm assuming if they're up to 14, then it's probably a 24 episode season.
Mm-hmm.
Like that tracks, right?
Yeah, sounds about right.
Does it say on here? Of course, it doesn't actually say anywhere on the Wikipedia page. So, but yeah, I mean, I would assume it's 24, so it'll probably end sometime in like December or January.
Yeah, so I'll probably just wait until then.
Yeah,
keep an eye out for it, but
or maybe it goes on sale and you end up just buying the game.
It's been on sale a handful of times, and it's on my wish list on Steam. I thought about buying it, but I didn't when it was last on sale.
And I mean, if you end up signing up for like the Game Pass trial to try some of the other stuff, you can always grab it off of there too.
Yeah, that too. Tribes of Midgard is on sale right now, but it's only like $5 off or $4 off. So it's not worth. That's not a good enough sale even for an only $20.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Oh, where's the outline go? There's the outline. So last little bit of stuff we have is just some Sony related news. So did you guys see that they're going to start offering trials for PS5 games?
I did not.
I only saw it when I was looking through the this outline.
Yeah, same.
There's one thing that I have a comment on. I think it's pretty cool that they're doing this. There's one thing I have a comment on about it.
Okay, what's that comment?
So it is a timed trial. So Death Stranding is 6 hours, Sackboy is 5 hours. But the time starts as soon as you hit download. So you're actually only getting an hour trial.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. And that is one of the shitty things. Like, depending on your internet and what the Sony side is looking like on any given day, yeah, that could be a very bad time.
Like, Death Stranding, at best, with my PS5 plugged in, would be at least an hour download. Like, my PS5 is plugged into the router. Like, there's no reason it should take as long as it does. that's at least an hour-long download. And so I would have to turn it on and watch it download so I can get my full 5-hour, demo. That's insane. It should be 6 hours from when you first turn it on. So, once you load it, you have 6 hours total, not, 6 hours split up over the course of playthroughs. It should just be, you turn it on, you start playing it, you got 6 hours. At the end of the 6 hours, you're done. So if you only play for 3, you're done after 6. You're done 3 hours after that.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And, that is actually kind of shitty. But, yeah, so, like you just said, it's Death Stranding Director's Cut and Sackboy: A Big Adventure. It's 6 hours for Death Stranding, 5 hours for Sackboy. It's only the PS5 versions of the games, so it's only the Director's Cut of Death Stranding, or the PS5 version of Sackboy, because I think Sackboy was released on PS4 also.
Yeah.
It also, I can't figure out how to do it. So
it looks like it's in the UK only right now, which
okay.
Can explain why.
Yeah, so apparently they were sending out a bunch of emails to people. I did not get one, but I saw all the news articles about it. And so I thought it might have just been one of those cases where it was only available if you got the email. But it sounds like when it does go fully available, you'll be able to just go to the games that are offering it and select to download trial instead of purchase game.
Mm-hmm.
It is neat though, because it's just going to download the full game. It'll lock itself after the time and give you the option to buy it, but all of your progress will carry over. So it's not like a demo where you're going to play for 6 hours and then have to start all over. If you play for 6 hours of Death Stranding, you will just pick up where you left off.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah. It's neat that they're offering this, and hopefully more games allow it. But it's just that whole 6 hours once you hit download. I don't like that because it's too much of a variable.
I agree. Yeah. I feel like at some point they're going to end up having to if they do intend for this to go wide, I feel like they are going to have to change that at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But who knows? Who knows what they'll actually do? But yeah, so there's that. Sorry, I lost track of thought because I was confused at something. The other thing that was announced for Sony-related things, starting at the end of this month, October 2021, you are no longer going to be able to use a credit card to purchase a game for PS3 or Vita in their stores. Now, keep in mind, the only way you can purchase games for either of those platforms is from the on-console store. You can't buy them through the web browser anymore.
So is it just direct buying games you won't be able to do, or is it just going to not accept credit cards, period?
No credit cards, period. So you kind of have to jump through some hoops. You'll have to, according to their stuff, go to the PlayStation store and load your wallet with a credit card from the web browser, or buy one of the prepaid cards and load it to your account that way. And then you can go onto your console and use those funds to purchase a game.
Mm-hmm.
Which, not the end of the world, but also just really stupid. It's I understand that there are probably some security issues going on with, those stores, and it's just not worth the effort to fix them. But, at that point, why are you, you should have just closed them down if you were just going to remove the ability to purchase things. Because that's basically what they're doing.
They were going to close it down, and everyone had it fit.
Yeah, but they're essentially doing that now by blocking your ability to buy things directly.
But you can still buy things.
Barely.
Not even... Honestly, I would much rather not have my credit card information on any stores and just buy credit and put it on there.
Oh, see, I hate the whole credit system.
Especially for something like the PS3 and Vita, something that old. I don't want my credit card on there. I would not want my credit card information on a PS3 or a Vita.
And exactly, and that's part of the problem is there's no security on those systems anymore. But that's why it's remove the ability to purchase them from the console and just let people purchase them from the website. Why can't we just purchase them on the website? That's the thing I don't understand.
That is weird. That's real weird.
That seems like a very arbitrary, well, we didn't want you guys to be able to do this anyway, so we're just going to make it complicated by not letting you do it here, the place where it is actually probably the most secure to do it.
Yeah, and that's probably what they're trying to do is to make it harder for people to buy games so that they can turn around and say, look, no one's bought games on these services for 6 months. Let's just shut it down.
Yeah.
they're trying to find a way to track to see whether or not it's viable to use it. And I'm sure there are easier ways, but the way they do it this way, then it's like, hey, you still had the option, you haven't used it. Whether or not we made it too hard, you still had the option, you just haven't used it.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah, it's like they wanted to do something, the world had a fit, so they undid what they're doing, and now the world is having a fit because what they're doing, because they undid what they're doing, is not what the world wants them to do, and they should have just done what they were originally going to do.
Yeah, and like I said, but back when, over the summer when they announced they were closing it, it sucks to, lose that stuff. People should be able to still buy them, but they should be able to just buy them on the website. That just doesn't seem like that big of a deal. Websites aren't that hard. It's just a database. Just make the database available and, problem solved.
Yeah. I mean, but, I don't, besides you, Cobb, I don't know anybody who goes to the website to buy the game. You're the only one I know who goes to the website.
I can't anymore because their website's fucking broken because they're fucking terrible at it.
For your PS5 games or anything like that?
Yeah, the website is absolute garbage now. I do it through the app begrudgingly because the app's not very good about finding things either.
I mean,
but it's slightly better than the website is.
And we went over this a week or two ago. When I'm looking for when I'm buying games on my systems, it's because it's on sale. And I don't often search for specific games. I look for the sale. But, I've never gone to their website to buy the game. I would honestly never really think to go to their website to buy the game.
Well, so the app, the store on the app pre-PS5 was, actually not functional. Because it just loaded the web version of the store in the app, and it just didn't really work right. So I always just went on my phone to store.playstation.com, and it was a mobile version of the store, and it worked fine, and I could look at the sales, and I could look for if a new game came out that I wanted to purchase digitally, I could just go purchase it digitally. The actual store website now is not good in a lot of ways, and it's a real big bummer. The search in particular is just not good on any of them. Especially because PlayStation is doing such a bad job this generation with how different generations of games work. You know what I mean? The fact, we've talked about a bunch of times where you can accidentally install the PS4 version of a game on your PS5 because they just don't properly differentiate them. The search on the web store is similar. If I go on there and just search Final Fantasy VII, it's going to show up everything but the version of it that I want for whatever. I was having that problem with, what the fuck, Integrate or Intermission or whatever the DLC was called. It wouldn't search correctly on the web store, but I could find it on the mobile app.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never used any of the on-console stores other than the Switch. The Switch is the only one that I've ever actually, gone into the console and opened the store on for whatever reason. But, so you say you don't ever go searching for stuff. So you never go on there to buy a specific game?
When I do, it's one of the top tier games that's on the front page.
Oh, okay, so you don't actually have to look for it. You just open the store and it's right there.
Yeah. When I'm looking for a game when I'm buying games, they're new games. I don't often buy old games, and if I do buy old games, it's because it's on sale. So I'll occasionally go through, their sales or their sale list and see what's on there. Right now, I'm on the app right now, and I just remembered that yesterday was Tuesday, so we have the new PS Plus games. 2K21 Golf, sweet.
Jesus.
But I don't know the last time I went searching for a game because I thought about it. I don't want to do that. Just went on console. I don't know the last time I went searching for a game. If you give me a game right now to search, I will search for it while I'm on the app and see if I can find it. But if it's not on the top, it's generally not a game I'm
that's fair. I like to occasionally click through all that stuff to see sort of what's for sale or under the different things, and it's always been easier to do that on the website than on the mobile app. And I don't ever turn my console on just to see what's in the store.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not the case anymore because the website sucks.
Yeah, like I'll if I'm looking, I'll go to deals. Like Arc is 67% off, like $10. I might buy that while I'm looking, but that's right on front page. I wasn't searching for it. They have a sale for stuff that's like 70% off. Like It Takes Two is $30, or Hellblade, Susuna's Sacrifice is, wow, it's only $6.
Yeah, and
like
the mobile app is much better than it used to be. Like, you can actually go to deals. When they first relaunched the mobile app, it was just straight broken. You couldn't do anything. The search is still bad, but like at least like going through deals and stuff like that is functional. It is not all that functional on the website. Because now, I don't know if you remember when they first. Sorry, go ahead.
I don't know what you mean by the search is bad, because I just searched Untitled Goose, and the first thing that came up was Untitled Goose Game.
Because there's only one version of Untitled Goose Game. But the problem you run into on the website store, the mobile app might be okay, I don't know. But it's very bad when there's a game that has multiple versions on multiple platforms. So like, and the example I just used was the Intermission when that first came out, or not Intermission, Intergrade, I guess. Mm-hmm. It was very hard to find that because it was technically DLC, but also it was technically the PS5 version. And when you searched it, it just didn't come up at all. Or the PS4 version of Final Fantasy VII came up, even though that's not what I fucking wanted at all.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like their search algorithm is just not good on the web store.
I mean, but honestly, and I might just be defending them, but I'm not going to put that on them. I'm putting that on Square Enix. Because they did a piss poor job of letting us know what the fuck what everything was.
No, yes, I mean, look, knowing which one you needed is bad, but their search is bad at indexing these things. I should be able to search for the name of the game and at least have it show up, whether it's the one I need or not. But like that wasn't the case at the time. And like there are still, I can't think of any other examples off my head, but there have been other times where I've gone on there to search for a game, and the game I searched for didn't come up, even though that was the name of the game. Like, it auto-filled with a bunch of other games that weren't it. Or that were, like, for, like PS4. I'm looking for a PS5 game. Why are you showing me old fucking games? Why are you not defaulting to the new platform? Like, why is your... Like, searches aren't that hard. Like, if they built their backend correctly, it wouldn't be hard. But we know that they never built their backend correctly. That's why it was such an issue to do the name changes. Like, whoever designed the architecture for Sony just had no fucking clue what they were, like, not that they didn't know, they knew what they were doing, because, like, it is a job that you need to know what you're doing, but they had no idea what they were building for. Like, nobody gave them a proper roadmap of, like, hey, this is what this needs to look like, and we need to be able to keep growing it, because video games aren't going anywhere.
Yeah.
And that's just not the case, and now they're just kind of stumbling back and forth, like, oh, well, it sort of works now. Like, it works on one platform, it just doesn't work on the other one anymore, so fuck it. We'll just go with it. But I think that's probably a show.
Yeah, I think so too.
Next week is our book club. Are you guys excited?
I am.
Yeah, I still gotta watch all of it. I've been slacking.
Man, you really have.
I'll get there.
Drew, I think you had dropped off when I said it earlier, but I started watching Formula One Drive to Survive Season 3 on Netflix. You were right. It is actually really interesting.
Yeah.
Like, I don't so much care about the actual, like, racing part, but just everything going on, at least in this season, is super intriguing just because it's all the COVID stuff is happening, like, while they're filming it. So, like, you're kind of you're seeing 2020 play out kind of over the course of this season.
Yeah.
And it's fucking weird, but interesting. So yeah, that'll be next week. 10 episodes, it's on Netflix. So come prepared next week for us to chat about that. And we'll also announce our next pick for a thing, which is my turn. So hope you guys are ready for something stupid.
I can't wait. I've been trying to figure out what's something to watch for my next. I can't wait. What yours will be?
I'm actually surprised you haven't had us do like a Godzilla thing, but at the same time, you did it to yourself, and I feel like you don't want to have to watch any more of that stuff right now.
Well, no, that's the thing. That's the only reason why. Is like it's at this point, it's just a year since I started Godzilla.
God, that seems like it was 7 years ago.
It was 36 weeks, man. So, like...
Yeah, I guess it only ended 6 months ago.
Yeah. So, like, we're not even 6 months, or maybe 6 months ago, yeah. But like,
March-ish?
I think, like, right now is like a year since I first started it, or close to a year since I first started it, then I'm just like, I don't need to I don't need to watch Godzilla right away, but if I were to, it would probably be like Shin Godzilla, which isn't free right now. So I don't want to get to a point where we're paying for whatever we're watching or renting it until like I've ran out of all other ideas.
Which that's valid, and I appreciate that. But yeah, so we do that next week. But in the meantime, if you'd like to find more of our content, you can head over to www.one-quest.com. You can also help us out by supporting us at patreon.com/onequest. And like I said at the beginning of the show, if you're excited for our tabletop show bonus action, you can support us over there and actually get the entire session all at once, all 3-ish hours of this first one. And you'll continue to get the whole session at once every time we record one. But if you can't support us there with dollars, you can go to your favorite podcast platforms. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, all the fun places. Rate us, review us, subscribe to us. Those things all help a whole lot, especially iTunes or Apple Podcasts, whatever you want to call it. That one's the big one. That one's that gets you the listeners. You can also find us on social media, facebook.com/onequestonline or at @1_quest on Twitter and Instagram. Our YouTube channel is youtube.com/onequestvideo, and you can always send us an email to social@one-quest.com. Otherwise, we will be back next week with something else to talk about. Thanks for listening. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.